Good morning, for me at least. I am filming this one about an hour after I woke up and sipping this maximalist coffee that I talked about in my last video that has milk, maple syrup, honey, collagen powder, and creatine in it. And I am feeling out what kind of vlogger I am. And so one way to do that is to change up the variables. And so one variable is the time of day I record. Every one I've recorded so far in this face showing era was in, I think, the afternoon or late afternoon. And here we are in the morning. So we're gonna see how my morning energy is. This feels good to do because I'm taking the next step. I have different goals for different areas of my life, and those goals themselves can feel overwhelming at times because they feel so big and far from where I am right now. I can think, oh, there's so many discrete steps, like hundreds or potentially thousands, between where I am right here, right now, and the fulfillment of those goals. And at times that sort of thing can be disheartening or stressful or overwhelming to me. But the better I am at being with myself in the present moment, then it's obvious that there's only one thing to do. There's only one step. And it doesn't matter how far away the goal is because I can only do one thing right now. And so, yeah, it's comforting for me to, as best I can remember, be present and do whatever the one thing is right now to move towards the goal. And this thing doesn't always have to be visible, legible action. Like, yeah, sometimes it's opening up the software, or sending the email, or writing the words down, or going outside, going for a run. But sometimes it's things like being present with emotions, like noticing, oh, I don't feel good right now. Like, I feel sad or stressed out or angry. And that's distracting me from doing whatever the step is to move towards the goal. So sometimes like the thing to do in the present is to cut myself some slack, give myself a break, be present with whatever emotion is occupying my my thoughts. Yeah. I guess that's one inefficiency between humans and automation tools right now. The automatons can just go forever. They don't have the emotions, at least not right now. But we do. And that's like a wonderful thing because it lets us connect with other people. Yeah. I had a really fulfilling experience at a party a few weekends ago. It's like people chatting and interacting in a like big living room area, and what ended up happening in conversation with one person is that just in this living room, she laid down and I sat next to her, and she told me about this emotionally like heavy situation she's going through. And I sat there and I listened to her share this stuff. And I asked her if she would be willing to receive questions about it because I was curious about what she was telling me. And she said yes. And I asked her the questions and she answered them, and I didn't try and like fix her situation or change it. I knew I couldn't. But I was just present with her, and these big emotions being expressed through her. And she ended up crying. And it felt just really good to be with her as she was verbally and somatically processing her situation and talking with me about it. And I noticed afterwards, a part of me, like, in that situation could have been like neurotic, like, oh, this woman's crying at this party in the living room. This could look bad on me. I didn't think that at all at the time. I was just like fully with her. I don't have her half of the story here, but I imagine it was cathartic for her to have been able to express that stuff that was distracting her from being present at the party that night. Yeah, so humans having emotions lets us understand ourselves better, what we're going through in life, connect with others better, like feel empathy and compassion for whatever another person is going through. My ego wants you to know that I'm remembering now that I think my voice sounds best in the morning. So you're welcome. Yeah, I have this theory that men ought to record their podcasts, videos, audio meditations in the morning because their voices sound best in the morning. I don't know the science or the bro science I'm about to make up, but if the vocal cords have been resting from 7 or 8 hours of sleep, they are in the state to express a deep voice after all that rest. Citation needed. There's also some like body emotion connection. Yeah, so which I'll tie into this next thing, returning to the previous thing, presence here. That thing I experienced at the party with that person, that feels so good to do. It's also a thing that happens sometimes in my coaching client calls. Not to that extreme, or not extreme, like not to that degree of like the other person crying, but like being present with someone's emotional processing and like setting the container, being a mirror in those moments is really, really fulfilling for me. It's like the thing I just want to do as much as possible. Because for me, it comes from a place of like feeling from my own like stable pillar of myself here, like feeling love towards the person, like, oh yeah, it's what you're going through is, it's a lot, yeah. And just like to be with them, like to let them not be alone in it and let them express. It's so satisfying. Yeah. And yeah, later this month I'm gonna go to a training that will in part help me become more practiced in being that like space holder for people's emotions. Yeah, because like this is like that's the work that like feels like really resonant. Like I feel lit up whenever I'm in that situation, whether in a like paid coaching container or like informally with someone, as I was at the party. Hmm. um, and yeah, so I think there's like something there for me to learn around how the body relates to emotions. Like emotions can be stored in the body, and so the more I know about that whole ecosystem, potentially the better equipped I'll be to help guide or be present with people's emotions in the container of like holding space for them. Like I think it'd be better if I were equipped to like not just have like that mind and energy presence, but also like know like somatically if there's a way I can be of service to like a client. All done. I'm done. Oh, yeah. I like this morning energy. Perhaps I will record more morning videos. All right. Thank you, and see you in the next one.